Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Novia McLaren. For those who don't know me, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist practicing in the state of Connecticut. And today I want to talk about healthy marriage, tips for healthy marriage, and also want to get into a little bit of premarital stuff. So I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, as well as I have been married and I'm no longer married. So just a little self-disclosure. So I have experience and clinical knowledge on what it takes to have a successful marriage. Mind you, the next time around, I think I'll get it right this time. But I'll talk about, the premarital stuff, which were some of the reasons why things didn't work out. Premarital wise, I think it's best for you guys to really think about the whys of why you're getting married, and it shouldn't be something that you're rushing into. It's not a decision to take lightly. You want to make sure you are fully compatible with your partner. I do recommend premarital counseling ahead of time, not ignoring red flags, knowing your personal values and what are some deal breakers for you, and exploring that in your partner to make sure that they understand and they're fully aware and they are committed to respecting your boundaries, right? So in the area of money, finance, career, parenting, spirituality, religion, quality time, knowing each other's love languages, all those things need to be ironed out completely. Family of origin, understanding that you're marrying into each other's families, not just each other, understanding each other's backgrounds, past traumas, and how that may be relating into how you are as a partner, doing your work individually ahead of time, going to therapy ahead of time, doing your own unpacking if you have that work to do, as well as the premarital counseling together before saying I do's. I think that is the key to having a healthy, successful marriage. I know sometimes people feel rushed if they got pregnant without being ready. I don't think any of those reasons, feeling pressured by your family, feeling pressured by society. I know I felt societal pressures, not wanting to be a single parent. Those are all factors into why I personally rushed into marriage, but it's not something to be rushed, right? So that's some of the premarital stuff. When you actually do say I do, here are some 10 tips for having a healthy marriage and maintaining a healthy marriage. The first one is spending quality time. You have to nurture your relationship. You have to spend time continuing to date and court each other, just like when you were in the beginning stages of getting to know. You want to keep that going. For me, I recommend my couples to go on date nights once a month at least, minimum. I know sometimes financial factors and parental responsibilities can all play a factor. Even you can have a date night at home. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It could be playing a game together. It could be, going for a walk, around the block, just something that you're doing together to continue to nurture the intimacy of the relationship. Number two would be learning how to negotiate conflict. That is a big thing with couples. So you want to have conversations and not like speaking at each other. You don't want to be belittling each other. You don't want to have any type of name calling or putting each other down. When you're negotiating a conflict, you want to actually tap into being very strength-based, resourceful, talking about your partner's strengths and abilities, and the fact that that they have what it takes to come to an agreement, a compromise, and that you believe in each other. Starting with those strong points and then going into, some of the things that you are not content with and some of the things that you would like to see differently. Really talking about it from a place of love and respect. Once you are tethering on the disrespecting of each other, then those create wounds. Words hurt. And sometimes, you feel like you've resolved the conversation, but sometimes you're holding on to something that was said that shouldn't have been said, and it was said out of anger and frustration. So you want to speak kindly as much as possible, looking at conflict as opportunities for growth and learning, and having conversations with each other and compromising. The third one would be piggybacking off of this is to show respect for each other. Once you are respectful of each other at all times, your marriage will continue to grow and to blossom. You are not each other's enemies. You guys are life partners. You're building together. You're growing together. You are a team. If you have children, you're raising a family. You guys are the head of household. Respect should be a key. And a lot of times couples fall into disrespecting each other because they feel like they're comfortable with each other. They know each other inside out. They know each other's secrets. No, you want to nurture that. You want to use that to speak life into each other, and having a place of a spirit of understanding that, hey, you're having a hard time right now. I'm not going to meet you where you're at. I'm going to rise up for you and pull you out of whatever it is that you're going through. So having emotional intelligence is important, which is why I said premarital stuff, you want to do your own work, your own unpacking. You don't want to be feeling triggered or, oh, you're reminding me of my mom, you're reminding me of my dad. We want to already have worked through all of that and have a place of emotional intelligence. The fourth one is learning about yourself first. So piggybacking again, knowing who you are, knowing your personal values, knowing what you stand for in this relationship and as a person. So again, a lot of the work to a successful marriage starts with yourself first, doing your own work, as well as doing the work together before saying I do, to know that, okay, is this something that's going to be a deal breaker or not? Number 5 is exploring intimacy. Going into love language and how you guys show love, how you guys show intimacy. Some people prefer, acts of service. Personally, that's my love language. Show me, do things for me, think ahead of time, be deliberate, being considerate, being mindful of me. How are you going to make my life easier? Versus some people prefer words of affirmation. I love you, you're beautiful, I can't wait to see you. The words mean a lot more to some people than some. And then there's the acts of service that means more to some than others. So those were 2 of the love languages. We have physical touch. Some people appreciate hugs, kisses, cuddling, all the stuff that comes with being physical, right? Those are some people's love language. Then we have words of affirmation. I think I said words of affirmation. Yeah, then we have quality time spent. So spending time together, which is what we talked about on the first one. And I think that should be everyone's love language. What's the purpose of being together and getting married if you're not spending time together, right? So that's pretty much everyone's love language, is to spend quality time with each other. So that's important. So knowing each other's how you relate on an intimate level. Intimacy also is about communication and feeling like you can trust your partner with any and everything that you're saying without feeling invalidated. That's a huge thing. Without feeling judged or ridiculed. You don't want to do that to your partner at all. The next one, number 6, is exploring common interests. We talk about compatibility when you get married. So the goal is to make sure that you are nurturing and continuing to grow in the same commonalities that you have together. What are the goals for this relationship, this marriage, for this family, and working on those things together. If it's health and wellness, you're doing that together. If it's personal financial growth, financial freedom, you're working together, talking about that. Being able to travel more, travel the world more, you're working towards that. Doing more leisure activities together, So just continuing to work on your interests together, and that can go together with the quality time spent. Number 7, creating a spiritual connection. If whatever your belief systems are, you probably want to do that together. Personally, I'm a Christian, so if my partner is also Christian, we're going to be praying together, going to church together, maybe reading the Bible together, and that can help you grow with the emotional connection more, and having the same shared values and common interests, right? So killing two birds with one stone. Number 8, improving your communication skills. So clinical knowledge that I've learned as a marital and family therapist in my studies is communication. We are always communicating, right? Even when we're not communicating, we are communicating. So learning how to, again, resolve conflicts and speak up for yourself, not holding things in and then exploding later on, communicating authentically and effectively without shaming and blaming. I encourage people to utilize I statements. I feel this way when you do this versus you're doing this and you're doing that. Not speaking at the person, respect, speaking from a place of love and understanding. So starting with a strength. Honey, I love that you are always taking out the garbage and you're always, looking out for the best interests of this family. However, last night when you did this, I didn't like that. That made me feel this way. So that comes across differently versus if you're attacking the person and shaming and diminishing the person. You don't want each other to feel like children or feeling like you're back, living with your parents in any type of way. So working on communication skills, and that's where couples counseling can help. If you guys are married and you feel like you're struggling with communication, couples counseling can help with that. Couples counseling can also help with any intimacy issues, any issues that when it comes to conflict resolution, that's where couples counseling can come in handy. Number 9 is to forgive each other. So if there were mistakes that were made in the past or even presently, learning to forgive, knowing the commitment that you've made with this person from the beginning was for thick or thin, good or bad. If you've already been through the premarital stages and you know that this is the person, whatever they have done throughout the marriage, can be forgiven. Where we get like major problems is when we skip over the work that was needed to be done before marriage, when we get married for all the wrong reasons or rushing into something without knowing the full extent of your partner and knowing your own personal values. That's where it's like, okay, it's irreconcilable, right? But if you've done the work and you're in a good place overall, and then there's something that it's hard for you to forgive, couples counseling can also help with that, and working with your own spirituality or faith can help with that as well. And number 10 is looking for the best in each other. What are some of the positives in this person? What are some of the strengths? Why did you get married in the first place? Thinking about when times were good. What were some of the things that made you say, I want this person to be in my life for the rest of my life? And reminding yourself of the positives. So hopefully this was helpful for someone out there. Any questions, feel free to comment. And until next time, love and light. Happy summer.